All right, family, I'm excited again to keep drilling home the information and opportunity strategies within the real estate industry and the hierarchy of real estate. And we know one of those top tiers of hierarchy is commercial real estate and commercial investing. So commercial real estate investing is really breaking down in the residential world as 5 units or more of residential units, right? Or residential mixed use of 5 units or more, or non-residential as a whole. That's warehouse, that's industrial, agricultural, that's strip malls, apartment complexes, malls, stadiums, domes, anything that's not 5 units or less than 5 units of residential real estate is typically considered our commercial real estate, okay? So you all have the opportunity to invest in commercial real estate, be owners in commercial real estate, malls, strip malls, apartments, all that. The biggest things that we have to understand is the financing side. I think it's slow most people up, right? And where in residential, you can leverage a lot of financing opportunities for owner-occupied and FHA and VA. When it comes to commercial, those opportunities get much more limited as you're now in the investor world specifically, right? And so financing is gonna be a big part of how you are able to pull these off, right? Having in financing, they a lot of times want you to have experience, right? So being able to bring experience to the table, cash reserves sometimes is also, even if you have the bank that's willing to lend you the money, you need cash reserves. That financing, cash reserves, or what's called equity for your deal is all what's called your capital stack, right? You'll hear that term a lot, right? Your capital stack. That's how you pile the money up. It could be grants, it could be tax credits, it could be equity, it could be loans. All those things fit under, and I'll just give you some examples, right? Grants can go in your capital stack, tax credits, right, can go in your capital stack, the liquidation of tax credits, equity from partners or from yourself can go in your capital stack, your debt or financing, right? We call that the debt, that goes into your capital stack as well. Any other private loans, right, that you might get, promissory notes, etc. All those things are in what's called your capital stack for your commercial investments. It can be used for your residential as well, but typically you see in the commercial space. But outside having the cash reserve or equity, right, banks and having your financing or debt, lenders do want to see experience, right? They want to see operational capacity. Can you run it? You have the experience to run it, you have the time to run it, right? In regards to any kind of commercial development or opportunity, right? The cool part about being a commercial landlord is you typically do what's called triple net leases as a commercial landlord, right? And triple net leases aren't like a residential lease where a tenant just pays you rent. In this case, the tenant pays rent for being there. They also will pay their proration of taxes, proration of insurance, right? And any utilities, right? And then sometimes any other common area charges as well for the property. So you as a landlord get to take most of this rent home as profits as your core thing being a commercial real estate investor, because the tenant is paying majority of the expenses. That's the cool part about the commercial real estate game. You'll also be able to use all kind of creative leverage and financing. We have an amazing commercial real estate mastery program and kind of enhancement to what I'm teaching right here. We'll teach you more about what's called syndication strategies and how you leverage the LLC in order to bring many of these things, whether you have them right now or not. We didn't mention credit as well, right? Which is all part of sometimes the financing piece. But all this can be pulled together no matter where you're starting at. I'm telling you, no matter where you're starting at, all this is possible through the proper usage and mastery of the LLC. You can pull all this off even as a newbie and go out and acquire your first commercial real estate asset. And we'll give you some more game and deep dive on that in our mastery program. Make sure you pay close attention to our business mastery program, because we operate commercial real estate like a business. So you want to tap into our real estate mastery program, our business mastery program, and then also our specific commercial developer lessons, all right? So here's some game and insight for you all who want to open your mind up to being a commercial developer and say, well, where do I start? What do I do? here's the first understanding you have, and now you go to our future trainings in order to be able to tap into the full nuances, nuts and bolts of commercial real estate development. Hope that helped. Also understanding in the financing that your down payments will be larger than residential because banks take a larger risk on investment in commercial than they do the residential home you're living in. So with larger risk, the banks want more cushion and they want to limit their exposure, it's called, right? Mitigate their risk. These are all terms you guys should be able to use. I should hear you guys saying this in future conversations. Mitigating risk, limiting exposure, right? And the bank does that by getting a larger down payment. That way there's less they're putting out and their risk are mitigated and their exposure is limited. All right, cool. See you guys on the next one, man. This is Thor, the hierarchy of real estate. We just covered commercial investing. Peace.